Hey everybody, welcome back here to another episode of Kingda. I'm going to start off today's episode with a quick question, and is what do you prefer, Kingda or Top Fuel Dragster? I know this is like a heavy debate between coaster enthusiasts out there in the world. I personally myself have ridden both of these coasters, and I must say, although Kingda I find a bit more intense, I find Top Fuel Dragster more comfortable, and so Tulsa Dragster does kind of take it a little bit for me, but they're both kind of equal. And yeah, it's just mainly the lap bars on Tulsa Dragster that really give it the edge. But I'm interested to know your thoughts on these coasters, so let me know down below in the comment section. And if you haven't ridden these coasters, then let me know what your favorite launch coaster is. If I had to pick some favorite launch coasters that weren't Tulsa Dragster or Kingda, I'd have to probably say Stealth or Accelerator from Knott's Berry Farm and from Thorpe Park. Those have great launches. I also really enjoy Desert Race and Retail, of course. They're both clone coasters, which can be found at Hyder Park and Alton Towers. And launch coasters, Taron, of course, is really great. That one's an LSM launch. So my favorite one out of those would have to be probably out of the hydraulic launches, probably Accelerator. And out of the LSM launch coasters I've done, probably have to say Taron. But yeah, let me know what your favorite launch coasters are down below. Not forgetting also, you have Rock and Roller Coaster. They're also great launch coasters. More family friendly, those ones. I like the more intense ones personally myself. But if I had to pick an overall favorite launch coaster, it'd have to be Top Thrill Dragster and then Kingda, just slightly behind. But Kingda is more pleasing to the eye, I think. It has a really great theme. Well, it's not. The theme is actually quite a weird one, to be honest. I don't really understand the theme of the ride or the name or anything like that, but I think it's interesting. I like the station, which I'm building today, and I think it's pleasing to look at. So I'm actually doing the station right now, and I wanted to try and recreate the station as accurate as possible. I like how all the wooden beams are in this station. If I compare it to Top Dragster, that has just a very simple kind of race car theme and has like a nice station, but nothing that I really want to create as bad as I do with Kingda. Like, I think Kingda just has more nicer things around it, building wise, and the planting. And I like the colors. Also has the drop tower on the side of the top hat, and so that's why I've kind of picked this one over Top for Dragster. Dragster also doesn't have the bunny hill, so I thought it would be more interesting to build this with the bunny hill in the game. But yeah, let me know if you're enjoying this project, and give me a comment and a thumbs up down below if you are looking forward to seeing more of this. I sure am excited to show you more of this one. It really didn't take me too long at all, and I really enjoyed building it as always. So I'm just going to go over a few methods that I like to do, which I've probably spoken to you guys about before in other projects, but I just want to recap on those. So when building these recreations, I like to have lots of references, and so I do use Google Earth quite a lot. Mainly from looking from above, I can really kind of see where all the different bits are laid out, so I can get a good scale of the ride. And then with the rest of the details, I just try and find as many pictures as possible. And very often in these parks, you can actually go on the Google Street View. So that always helps out as well. So I do like to use a lot of photos, just so I can really try and copy what I see correctly. And obviously, like I say, sometimes I can't always do things correctly, and I have to just kind of do it a different way. But I always try and use those pictures as references, and that's kind of how I get around it. And most of the time I just kind of eyeball it, to be honest, especially with like scaling and sizing and stuff. I just kind of look at the map, Google Map, and then kind of just eyeball it and see how it looks. Take a little zoom out on the map, see how that looks, and then go back in and edit things. And as always, as I'm building these projects, as I go along, things morph, things change, and I notice things I didn't realize that I saw before, and I changed them. So things are always changing as I build these recreation projects. What I build first is never always exactly what is final. So that's just basically some rough information on how I do these recreations. I'm just doing the roof here for the station. I really like this station. I know I just said it just a minute ago, but this station I really think it's cool. I remember building it in Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 as well. And I've always kind of enjoyed building this station. I think it's a nice station, especially with the wooden framework. I think that's what makes a station for me, with those wooden beams, and I think recreating those, I have a lot of fun doing that. It sounds really weird to say it out loud that I enjoy building those wooden beams, but yeah, you know what I mean. Anyone that builds coasters and stuff, you understand what I'm talking about. The roofs in the game have not that much texture on them, even the mod roofs, to be honest. And so I'm gonna actually put some like beams. I like to put beams on the roofs and sink them into it just to give the roofs a bit of a texture. So I'm gonna go in and do that. I just want to play around first of all with this wooden frame stuff that it has. Either end of the station has this kind of fanned out wooden pattern, and then I've just gone for the lion head, which actually fits perfect. Didn't plan that at all, it just kind of happened, but that's how it is in real life. It has this head sticking through, so I've just put the lion statue in there, and I'm really like happy how that has turned out. Total fluke, but yeah, it looks really awesome, so I'm really happy with that. And then like I just said, now I'm going to go and do some details on the roofing. So I'm going to take a pillar from the Shy Guys 3 set, which is the wooden beams, and I'm just going to sink those into the roof at kind of equal stages across, and then I'll go in between those ones and then do different slightly shades of colors, so it gives the look of more of like a textured corrugated iron kind of roof, and that's how I've kind of got around that textureless roof texture. So I do this very often in my parks. It's possible to do it with in-game pieces, vanilla pieces as well, but I'm just using these pieces because I've used these very shallow slope roofs from Shy Guys. I think they're from the 3 set, and so these wooden beams fit perfect onto them from the Shy Guys 3 set as well. So I'm just going to save this as a blueprint because it'd be a real pain to keep doing that over and over, and I'm just going to copy it onto the other side. So that's looking really great now. I'm really happy with how this is looking so far. Now I just need to kind of put all the fences on everything and kind of just finish it up. But the queue line and the exit path, really confusing. Looking at the reference photo and Googles and stuff, and it's really hard to figure out where it goes, and they go back and forward, and obviously it's a dual loading station, so the exit comes up from the middle, which isn't really, I have done it, but it was quite difficult. And then the entrance path, they have to have 2, even though one side's not functional in the game, so I've had to figure out how to divide the paths up, and yeah, it came a bit of a pickle actually. I got a bit confused with what was going where, but as we go along, that will become more clear. But like I said before in another episode, these paths are, I think they're just too wide. 1 tile wide is far too big. I think they should be half a tile wide, but that's just how it is. We just have to deal with it. But it would be nicer if they were half a tile wide, and then it would make all the exit and entrance paths a bit more neater. But like I said, I'm dealing with what I've got. But I'm just taking a look here from a step back, zooming out, just checking everything if it looks correct, and I'm happy so far. So I'm just going to go in and start doing a little bit of terrain painting. But that's basically all I have time for today. So thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and thanks for liking. Be sure to check out more of my videos, and I'll see you all next time for another episode. I'll just leave you now with a couple of screenshots from what I've done today with the station. See ya, bye. Thank you.